Good morning guys, it's Sarah and I will be making this cute little pumpkin for the fall season. You can use it as a keychain or you can put it on like a backpack with one of these or hang it off your purse, whatever you want to do, make it big or as small as you want. So let's get started. You will need yarn, you will need scissors, you will need a darning needle and any of these if you want. If you don't want to put it on a keychain, then you can just leave this out and do whatever you want with it. So we will start with, I'm doing a yellow yarn. This is Mainstay by Walmart. You will also need some stuffing as well to stuff the item. And so let's get started, guys. So I'm doing a chain of 22. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. And then in the third chain from the hook, we will do half double crochet and then half double crochet all the way down in every chain. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. I chose this smaller hook because we will be stuffing it, and I didn't want any of the stuffing, to be seen. So I chose a smaller hook to get a tighter, stitch in. So you will just be crocheting, and you can customize this if you want it to be a higher pumpkin, then you'll do more chains. If you want it to be a wider pumpkin, then you would do more rows of the half double crochet. Okay, so you will need to know how to make chains. You will need to know how to do half double crochets. You also need to know how to do like back loop half double crochets. So right now we are at the end, chain 1 to turn. So after you do your chain 1, right there, this is the chain 1, and then in the very next you'll do back loop half double crochet. And that would just be a repeat row from this point on. So you would just keep doing that. I'll do a couple of rows with you guys, then I will come back to go to the next step, okay? So right now we're just doing the back loop all the way down. I usually seem to prefer about 18 rows is what seems to be a good size. So that's what I'm doing with this. We'll do about 18 rows of this back loop only. And then I will show you what we do next. Let's finish this next row and then start the other one, and then we will proceed to the next step. You can go ahead and count if you like, and that is perfectly fine. I don't. I just, look at it. It looks straight to me. So go ahead and do a chain 1, turn. Again, there is the, right here, there is the chain 1 right here, and then right next to it is the stitch we'll be working in, back loop only, okay? So just do the back loop. I think it's a really easy project for beginners because no, I think it's not complicated, but you may need to go slow if you're not familiar with back loop. And you also may want to count just to make sure you're getting the same amount of back loop on each rows. But once you do it a few times, you'll just be able to look at it and tell that everything is good. Alright, and what this does with the back loop, it gives the ridges that kind of looks like a pumpkin. Alright, so this is what we have right now, and we will start the next step. So I switched over to a piece I already have finished here. So this is what it looks like. Okay. And then what I will be doing is go ahead and immediately, I don't do a chain 1 to start this part. And what I do, guys, you can do this with the sewing needle or you can do it with the crochet. So I go in on the, let me show you here. Okay, so with every stitch you have a front and a back. So this is the front and this is the back, okay? So what I do is that I will work the back on this row and then pull the closest one to me on this row and then do a slip stitch, okay? So I'm doing the back on this, and then on that one as well. I find sometimes it's easier to just sew this up. A lot of people don't want to deal with trying to crochet this, but I'm just going to crochet it for now. But you can certainly sew it up, it will not make one bit of difference. Okay, so just do the slip stitch all the way until I reach the end. How's everyone doing? And guys, let me tell you, don't think that you always have to go buy products when you see someone do a tutorial if you don't have it. For example, if you don't have stuffing to stuff this, take an old piece of clothing that you have, chop it up in little pieces with the scissors, and use that as stuffing. It's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. And maybe you don't have colors that people think are fall colors. That's fine too. It can be whatever color you have available, whatever yarn you have available. Okay, so we went ahead and crochet that all the way up. And so you're going to take a pretty nice amount of yarn, maybe about 2 feet or so. So you want to go ahead and make sure you have enough left over because you will be doing some sewing, okay? So now you go ahead and you put that through the needle. Find my end here. Okay, so what you do, I just always, you see there's a little space between the end here. I just go ahead and go in there. If you have that issue, just go ahead and pull through and close it up. It's no big deal. And then what you're doing at the end here, you want to go in and just go in and go out every few stitches because you're doing this because you're needing to close this end. So just go in, go out, go in, go out, go to the edge as much as possible, and just keep doing that. I like to keep it relatively close to each other because I don't want any of the stuffing to be seen. So I just going in and going out, and so I'm at this, almost at the end here. Keep doing that. Okay, so we're at the end, and what we're going to do is just pull it tight, okay? So just make sure that part is closed. I like to go ahead and tie a knot there. No problem. It's a pumpkin, guys. It's not a big deal. So there's like a tiny little hole like this. I just go ahead and go through like this stitch right here. Oops. And pull it. And just go through a few stitches. Just grab whatever stitch is close and just pull it. Turn it around, grab another little stitch that's close, and pull it. Okay. So eventually it will close up, and then I will go ahead and do a knot. Alright. So we have the knot right. We're not gonna, actually I'm gonna go ahead and snip this straggler, no big deal. Okay, so we have this closed, and I'm going to push this through, because this is what we have so far. It's like a little mini hat, actually. So this is what we have so far. So I'm going to start stuffing it. I still have some of my stuffing from my old Joanne days, this darker stuffing. So I'm going to stuff it. Like I said, you can use old pieces of clothing. You can recycle old stuffing, just whatever you have. Try to use it, you know. We don't always have to buy stuff to make new projects. This is a great project if you have some scrap yarn and all of that good stuff. Okay, so once you stuff it, what I do, since I have pulled that yarn from the bottom up, I'll go ahead and make a knot on this edge. Because if I just start stitching to go ahead and close this end, it's going to cinch the whole work from the bottom. So anyway, just make a knot right there, and then we're going to close it up like we did the first part. So we're just going to go in, go out, go in, go out on the very edge. That's why we needed a good bit of tail yarn to do all of this. So just keep going in and out till you reach the end. Okay, and then we are going to cinch it again. Alright, and we're going to do the same. We're going to go through opposite stitches from opposite side to kind of make sure we close this up and close up that little hole. You just grab a stitch from one end and grab a stitch from the opposite end and just pull it through until it is closed. Just rotate it and keep doing that until that little hole is closed up, which is one stitch away, looks like, from being closed. And then I will do a knot to secure that closure. Okay, okay, so this is what we have so far. So I kind of like to flatten it out a little bit, and then we're going to go from this end to the middle of the other end. Okay, because we want to get kind of that indentation in there. Okay, so then we are going to put it in another little area, but still going through the middle. Push it all the way up, as close as we can to that middle. Okay, okay, it looks something like that. That's what it looks like now. And then I'm going to hold it down and then do a knot. Okay, because I want that to stay. I want that middle tightness to stay. So I'm just holding it down and then going back in and doing a knot to secure it. Okay, so we can flatten it out. This is what it looks like now. And what we're going to do, so you have like these little ridges all over here, and so right in between those ridges I'm going to go in and I'm going to pull it and go through. Okay, and that just gives the look of a pumpkin. And I'm going to do it a little tight. I'm going to tighten it a little bit, and then I'm going to go to the next little ridge in between and do the same thing. Pull it up and tighten. I personally don't do a knot. You can if you choose. And then I'm going to go through this little ridge and pull it up. That's why we needed the extra. Okay. Okay, so do that all the way around, and I'm going to come back. Okay, so we did all of the ridges, and then I am going to do a knot in the middle to make sure that nothing loosens. Okay, so do a knot right there. Okay, so this is what we have right now. Okay, so I'm going to set this right here for a moment because we want to make the little middle parts to stick whatever, if we are using a, you know, little keychain or whatever. So the way we do that is I would do a ring, magic ring, or whatever way you know how to do it. So I know there's many ways. We chain one, and we're going to do 6 single crochet in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then we're going to pull that tight, and we'll go ahead and do a slip stitch on top of that first single crochet that we did, and we're doing the chain 1. We'll do 2 single crochets in the first stitch and 2 single crochets in all the other stitches. Okay, so that'll make a total of 12 single crochets now all the way around. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and the last one, 1 and 2, and then we will go ahead and slip stitch on top of that first slip stitch, first single crochet, and this is what we have. Really simple. And also I want you to leave about, again, a pretty good, about a 1.5 foot tail, because we will be doing some sewing with this and also making the little handle. Okay, so this is what we have, and then we are going to take, where is my, never fails, guys, I will always lose my needle even though it's still stuck on this. Yeah, so I'm going to turn this around, and with the little tail we're just going to sew that in right now to get that secured. So you just kind of work that in whatever stitch you see available. It's not a big deal. You just don't want it poking through the front. Okay, so I just want a few stitches to kind of pass it through. It's a little tight, but it's okay. And then I'm going to snip that off. And guys, save your little pieces because you can use those to stuff your work. So I'm going to put this on the needle, and then I think I'm going to choose this side to sew it on. Okay, and this is how it looks right now. And you're just going to hold it on there. You can pin it if you like. I'm not going to, but just go in and out. It doesn't have to be super fancy or anything. Pretty much I'm just going through like the end stitch and then just pulling it out there, keeping it pretty close. So not a big deal. I'll do it closer here if you guys can see. So I'm just choosing a stitch and then pulling it out pretty close to it. Choosing a stitch and then grabbing. Yeah. So just do that all the way around so it's secure. It looks like I'm doing about every other stitch so of the green parts. You can do whatever you feel comfortable with. Okay, so this is what it looks like. And then I am going to go in because I need to get to the middle part here. So I need to kind of get to the middle. So I'm going to put my needle through there. Okay. Looks pretty good. And what I am going to do here is, hope you can see. So since the yarn is through the middle, I'm going to go through the side of it, right? And poke through the middle and grab, oops. I'm going to poke through the middle and grab this yarn because I want it to come through, okay? And I am going to do how many chains I want this middle part to be. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like what I want the loop to be rather yet. 8, 9. So that's about right. This is how it looks like. So if you're not going to put any kind of hardware, then you can just go ahead and finish here. So what I'm doing is I'm going to pull it through. And then, where is my needle? I'm going to put my needle again because we're going to do a little bit of sewing again. Okay. So this is what it looks like. So if you're putting something like this through, you know, then you would just put something like this. Or if you are doing the chain here, oops, then you would just go ahead and put that through like that, okay? So that's how it looks like, and then you would go ahead and do your darning needle again, okay? And what I'm going to do is that I am going to go through this right here, go through the middle, the same middle section here, all the way to the ends of this part, okay? So you're going to pull your needle all the way through there. This is what it's going to look like, really cute. And then you are just going to tie it on this bottom part. And I tie it very well. Tie it about 2 or 3 times. Okay. Do whatever makes you feel comfortable. Okay. And then I'm going to cut that. Oops. Okay, and put both yarns through, and then just insert it through the work, and then push it through anywhere. It's a little tight, but you'll be fine. And you see how when you pull it, and you can no longer see it, or you can barely see it. So I'm just going to cut it very close, and then just push it in here, so you can't even see that anymore. So there you go. You have a perfectly super cute little pumpkin. You can leave it like this. You can put your keychain, like I said, on it. You can hang it up in your vehicle. So let me know what you think about it. You can still kind of flatten it out if you want to get whatever look you want. But yeah, let me know what you think about it. You can do this in any color, guys. So just don't be limited to fall colors. You can leave this out, and you can make several of them. You can do all kinds of stuff with them. So thank you guys for watching. Have a good day.